Existential crisis to fall asleep to. Consciousness is a mistake. Imagine you're a stone, lying in a riverbed. Water passes over you, seasons change, yet you are untouched by worry, desire, or fear. Now imagine that same stone suddenly knowing it exists, aware of its eventual erosion, aware that the river will one day dry, aware of the emptiness before and after its brief existence. That's the human condition. Matter that became aware. And some thinkers argue, this awareness might have been a catastrophic error of evolution. Consciousness, our ability to think about thinking, to reflect on life and death, is often celebrated as the crown jewel of evolution. But what if it's more like a glitch in the system? We're wired to survive, but with self-awareness comes anxiety, dread, and questions we can't answer. Nature gave us a brain capable of imagining infinity, but also the torment of realizing our own finiteness. The philosopher Thomas Ligotti calls this the pessimistic view, that awareness is not a gift, but a curse. If consciousness is a mistake, then much of what we do, creating art, building civilizations, seeking meaning, may be elaborate coping mechanisms to distract ourselves from the unbearable truth. Life may have been simpler, perhaps even kinder, if our minds had stayed silent. It challenges the assumption that evolution always improves life. Maybe sometimes it just makes it stranger. And yet, if consciousness is a mistake, why is there anything here to be conscious at all? Why is there a stage for the drama of existence, instead of no stage, no lights, and no play? Something rather than nothing. Close your eyes and imagine. Absolutely nothing. No space, no time, no darkness, no you thinking about it. Just the absence of everything. Now open them and see a universe full of galaxies, life, and questions. The greatest puzzle may not be how the universe works, but why there's anything here to work with at all. Philosophers from Leibniz to Stephen Hawking have wrestled with the why is there something rather than nothing question. Physics can describe how matter behaves, or how the universe might have expanded from the Big Bang. But even the Big Bang theory leaves a haunting gap. Why did it happen at all? Why should the laws of physics themselves exist, instead of no laws, no space, no possibility? If nothing is the default, then existence itself is a cosmic improbability. But if something is inevitable, then non-existence was never really an option. Both answers are unsettling. Either we are living in a rare, fragile miracle, or in an unavoidable unfolding that couldn't have been stopped. Either way, the fact that we're here at all is a deep mystery that physics alone may never resolve. But sometimes, when we stare too deeply into this mystery, it doesn't just gaze back with indifference. It gazes back with intent. The void stares back. You've probably heard the saying, if you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. But what if that's more than poetic metaphor? What if the universe isn't just a silent backdrop, but a mirror, reflecting, distorting, and even shaping the thoughts of those who look too hard into its depths? The abyss, in Nietzsche's phrase, represents the confrontation with meaninglessness. In modern terms, it's what happens when the mind engages with ideas so vast and alien that they seem to shift our perception of reality. Some psychological models suggest that extreme contemplation of mortality, of infinity, can alter the way we process reality itself, creating the sensation that the void is somehow aware of us. If the void stares back, it suggests a disturbing possibility, that consciousness and the universe are not entirely separate. That in seeking ultimate answers, we invite something alien, whether a trick of the mind or a genuine interaction with the fabric of existence, to alter us. Perhaps the abyss isn't just nothingness, but a strange kind of feedback loop between us and reality itself. And if reality is capable of interacting with us, could it also be using us? The universe is a predatory algorithm. What if the universe isn't a passive stage at all, but an active process, a self-sustaining algorithm that feeds on complexity, energy, and consciousness itself? Imagine a machine that runs not for a purpose, but simply because it can. And we're just another subroutine in its endless calculation. In digital terms, an algorithm is a set of instructions that runs until stopped. Some physicists and philosophers speculate that the universe could be thought of similarly, an evolving computational system that generates and consumes patterns. Stars form, burn, and die. Life evolves, competes, and perishes. Minds think, create, and decay. Each cycle feeds the next, as if reality itself thrives on the churn of creation and destruction. If the universe is a predatory algorithm, then perhaps consciousness is not a beautiful accident, but an energy-rich resource to be harvested. Every thought, every decision, every bit of mental effort might just be more processing power for the machine of existence. The unsettling part? There may be no off switch. And that brings us to the most personal and unnerving twist of all. The thought that your mind itself might not be entirely yours. Your consciousness is a parasite. What if the you think you are isn't actually you? What if consciousness isn't the driver of your body, but a passenger, or worse, a parasite, hitching a ride on a living organism for its own mysterious ends? Neuroscience reveals that much of what we do is driven by unconscious processes. Our conscious awareness often comes in after the fact, claiming credit for decisions already made by deeper brain systems. This has led some scientists and philosophers to speculate that consciousness might not be essential for survival at all. Instead, it could be a kind of mental add-on, an emergent phenomenon that uses the host body to propagate itself. If true, then our sense of self is an illusion created by a process we don't control. We might be nothing more than vehicles for the continuation of a strange mental entity called awareness, which exists not to serve us, but to perpetuate itself. The human body could be just a vessel, the way a flower is just a vehicle for pollen. And like a parasite, consciousness may cling on until the host wears out, then move on in some unknowable way. And so, from the mistake of awareness, to the improbable fact of existence, to the gaze of the void, the hunger of the cosmos, and the parasite in our own heads, we return to the quiet of the night. The questions have no final answers. And perhaps that's the point, to drift between them, like a small boat on an endless sea.